After my previous theory video on To the Moon and Finding Paradise, and after finishing Impostor Factory way later than everyone else, I want to take a look at which of the previous questions about the backstory part 3 of the series answers. So, this will be about everyone's favorite Sigmund doctors, but not about the main plot of Impostor Factory. If you haven't played the game yet, be aware that there will be massive spoilers. Number 1. What's wrong with Neil? Neil has an unnamed genetic condition that he inherited from his mother, Linry Watts. This condition can lie dormant. When it does, the affected person can live a pretty normal life with maybe some minor impairments. For example, Neil's mother had to make sure not to overexert herself. But it can also become malignant at any time, which may kill the patient. Still, if that happens, there is apparently a chance it can be treated successfully. Does that mean that Neil is dying? As of now, the author has left all possibilities open. Neil may live a normal life, or he may have to get treatment at some point. And at worst, yes, he may die from his condition. But just going by how storytelling usually works, I would assume that Neil's illness will affect him in some significant way still. Authors don't normally introduce such a looming threat and then don't make use of it. On a side note, this also answers the question of why Neil is such a loner. Like his mother, he tries to stay distant from people intentionally. That way, he hopes to spare them the heartache of first becoming attached to him and then having to grieve if he dies from his condition. But it leaves another minor question unanswered. Why doesn't Neil want to talk to his father? In the second minisode, he refused to speak to him on the phone, and so far we haven't seen anything that would explain this. In retrospect, though, it is strange that he was referring to the person on the other end of the call as they, since his mother is already dead. So my best guess here would be that his father has found a new partner, which might be the cause of the rift. Number 2. What's the point of Neil's machine? We learn that Neil's mother used to work for the Hugh Haynes Foundation, the inventors of the memory-changing technology. When she knew she was going to die soon, she secretly copied part of her memories onto the machine, for her son's sake. But the technology wasn't yet at the point where these memories could be decrypted again. Apparently, her memories then became part of every machine built by the company. Neil knew this, but not the Hugh Haynes Foundation themselves. That's what we have to conclude at least, since Neil joined Sigmund to get access to the memory-changing machines, which they are licensing from the original inventors. Neil stole one of these machines and tinkered with it until he was eventually able to decrypt his mother's legacy. But his long-term goal went beyond that. He wanted to create an option for every human to leave behind a part of their memories for posterity, just like his mother had for him. This idea may well have come to him because his illness has made him quite aware of how fleeting human life is. Memento mori, as Faye calls it. Number 3. Why did Neil copy Faye onto his machine? As we might have guessed, Faye can interact with simulations from inside the machine, similar to an admin. For example, she can interfere with their calls if necessary, or delete things. But unlike a human admin, she can split herself up and interact with a multitude of simulations at the same time. Surely useful should Neil's plan come true and more than one person's memory must be managed. Number 4. What happened in the present? That one is a bit of a letdown. After finishing Impostor Factory, we still don't know. In the very last scene of the game, Neil turns off his machine, but we find out that we are still in a simulation. Before he leaves his apartment, He is all alone inside it. But when Eva notices he forgot to close the door, someone slams it shut from the inside. This has to be Faye, and as we know, Faye can only materialize inside the machine. But we still learn 2 new things that give us some more perspective. Firstly, the place we saw at the end of the second minisode is not Neil's apartment, so for some reason the machine had to be moved. Secondly, we now have 2 options for that scene, which I think shows baseline reality in the present. Neil might be connected to this machine. He could be hidden from sight on this sofa. As explained in my previous video, what we have seen throughout the games might then be a mix of both his and Eva's memories that is being read out by the machine. But now, Neil's machine has the capability to store memories. And as we can deduce from Faye's comment, that from now on he will always be in the machine, he has already made a copy of his own. So at worst, Neil isn't even around anymore. In that case, Eva might be going through his and possibly her own memories after his death. Either way, it appears we will have to wait for another sequel to find out more.